Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another tire quick view. Who doesn't love a tire quick view? We love a tire quick view. This tire is, of course, featured in the thumbnail. Y'all know why you're here. One of the most oft requested reviews, for whatever reason, I don't know. Proline Interco Super Swamper TSL SX. Orange dot means G8 compound. I'm not exclusively against it, but if given the option to choose between G8 and Predator, I'm going to take G8 pretty much exclusively. And here's why. This is the desert. The days we have where I can run a tire that is happiest between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit is largely outnumbered by the days when I can run a tire that doesn't really care how hot or cold it is outside. Now, in stark contrast to that, it's midwinter, and I would go on record as saying it is definitively Predator weather out there. It's about 50-odd, mid-50s outside. So Predator would probably have an advantage on the day, but we've done some testing where we take a Predator out when it's 95 degrees outside, and they don't work at all. They feel like someone has smeared grease all over the tread blocks. Bubble Juice, the mounting compound of choice, and I would not, but nah, I would. Okay, I was going to say I wouldn't classify G8 as Bubble Juice required, but you can do that, and then we pop the lip up a little bit. Just pop that up. Take the inner, and it will usually just drop right down. So, while not 100%, it's not mandatory. Obviously, people are buying these tires and mounting them to wheels without Bubble Juice, but the Bubble Juice does make it a lot easier. The Bubble Juice has a second wonderful effect. That was, of course, a double bun going in there. This is a rear. We will be running these in the traditional Canyon configuration. That being double bun for the rear, a Canyon medium. I'm frantically looking around the bench for one more beadlock screw. Diggy. I didn't want to open up any bags. And a Canyon soft in the front, which is 2 wraps of the reticulated polyethylene fridge foam. The second bonus of Bubble Juice is that you can clean the mold release off. Look how nice. Yes, these are very much Proline. They unleashed I guess what we would have to classify as typical level of Proline stench that comes out of the bag when you first crack it open. These are as stinky as any others you might find. I went exclusively by the dot to the inside, which the tires are asymmetrically molded, so one side of the mold is bigger than the other. So as the dots were facing in, we have the narrow mold side to the inside and the wide mold line to the outside. I'm sure I can hear it already. Someone is already, and we're not even outside yet, someone is saying, them inserts ain't soft enough. Well, here's the deal. Unnecessary classification, qualifier, and explanation, because most of y'all know what you're in for. And that is this. Tires are tested in the Canyon on this vehicle. They're tested on this vehicle with the exact same setup that he always has. Same power plant, same layout, same everything. And they are tested on the Canyon Tire Test Protocol, which is 10 stations that every tire gets tested on. And every tire, barring tires of odd sizes, are all tested on this exact combination of Canyon custom inserts. Softs in the front, mediums in the rear. Scientifically, in the spirit of the scientific process, what they call that is eliminating variables. We've eliminated a bunch of variables. If you've watched a number of tire tests on here, you have seen this wheel, this particular wheel. These, I think they call them gold, but they are definitively orange. These orange fake, just Amazon 105s. We've also got them in silver. We've got them in black. Here's a black one right here. Another set of black ones. We buy them up. We buy them up. Tires are tested on those. 24 millimeter inner ring, because the Tim 10 insert from which the double bun is constructed is most at home on a 24 millimeter inner ring. So that's how they all get tested. So if this tire does as well as here's an unnecessary disclosure. I have an idea of how this tire is going to do, because people who do hiring for a living, they develop this sense where when an applicant walks through the door, they have a preconceived notion, and this preconceived notion of the person in charge of the interviewing and the hiring, they've formulated this notion by gleaning the information of hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants that have come in. And they get a sense for it, right? This is a Proline tire in G8 compound, and we know is essentially, there's a flat iron right up here. There's a number of Prolines in G8, some boggers right up above that. We have an idea of where that tire is going to land. Just like anything that comes in J Concepts Green, we have an idea where that, or Durtrex C3, or RC4L Drive X2SS or X2S3. Very few tires have exhibited in them the ability to transcend their compound to where it is purely the tread of the tire. I'm looking at you, Canyon Trails. The tire's lug shape and size and physical dimension is as important as the compound. Most other tires fall in, and I would say this, the lion's share, 90% of tires fall into this hole of the compound is as important as anything. I don't know that the Swamper tread layout is capable outside of the compound. So we're looking at what the compound can do. I mean, this particular tread block shape, we have seen imitated and duplicated, and there are a great many. If you squint hard enough, there's not that huge of a difference between, I mean, it's 4 rows. These rows run lengthwise and these rows run sideways. That's a common, it's so common that we see it in nearly everything, right? I never realized until mounting this up, I was like, wow, the Deep Woods is actually really close to a Swamper. Lots of tires are Swampers. So I have this, I can't fight it. There's a number. And I think, oh, we're going to be at that number. And that is why we do the tests. Because 1 point either way of the number that I'm thinking is the difference between, yeah, you should probably get these, or no, you probably shouldn't. So, we're out there, realistically, we're out there for like 2 points. Because a vast gulf exists between a tire that would say get a 93 and a 95. And an even, perhaps, potentially, a bigger gulf exists between a tire that would get a 95 and a tire that would get a 97. So, we see what we're going to do. This is a scale tire. The Interco Super Swamper is there. But it is often imitated and copied to a great extent. So, I'm here for it. It's a good-looking tire. It is, as I had said, one of the most requested for whatever reason. Just test Swampers, test Swampers, test Swampers. So guess what we're going to do, everybody? I'm going to get his radio. We're going to power him up. And we are going to go test Swampers. Honestly, I don't know what it is that makes the Swamper come up so frequently on people's requests of, will you test this tire? It is a tire. I don't know. I guess I don't have any. The tread pattern to me is fine. Yeah, they're doing as well as I would have anticipated. I'm gonna have to. I gotta put my reviewer's hat on though. Yeah. A little push. Can we correct back? Cut back this way? Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, plenty of drive. Nice. Okay. Yeah, good cutback. There's nothing I have nothing to complain about here. And I guess here's what it comes down to. The amount of drive coming out of these is high. Higher than I had anticipated based on the tread block, right? Based on what the tread looks like. I still like the look of a flat iron better. And maybe that's why people buy Swampers. They like the look of a Swamper better. I think it's the roundness at the shoulder. Like I don't like the rounded over shoulder look on these as much. Like you see, they're very domed across the top. Performance-wise, again, I have really nothing to complain about. It's a G8 Proline tire, which, when it comes down to it, I think a lot of aesthetic choices are being made. Yeah. We're going to start... Where's my pen? Okay. Couldn't remember which pocket my pen was in. We're going to start strong. We're going to start at a 9.7 on the dry. It was good. It's got a decent amount of side lug with that rounded shoulder. Let's see if this continues. I'll tell you right now, we've started off a point higher than where I thought it was going to be. And if anyone thinks there might be some sort of bias in play there, like, oh, well, he likes that other tire more, so he's going to score this one lower. Buddy, if that was a thought that anyone had, it would be giving me entirely too much credit because I can't remember the score I gave any tire at all, period. The Bogger did really well. I have no recollection. The only one I can remember, Tusk LP's got a 98. Can remember that one. See how we do over here at Daphne's. We've got a little bit of a breakover test, and it's not exclusively a breakover test. It's more like, can the front tires do work without the back tires helping them out? We'll test that kind of twice. Kind of draw it sideways over here. No, that's good. It's good. Come in here. See if we have enough sort of chevron, like the way the lugs point. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Very low hesitation there. If you can pull a line that smoothly, we are going to have to gut shot you. Oh, I thought it was. I think it might. A little more speed. Come back out of the way. Yeah, that's real nice. That's real nice. Okay. I want to see no hesitations here. Keep the speed down. Whew. Are we working? What's that hissing? Are we working our way towards another no math? We might be. I like a no math. I don't have to write as many things down. That is a 9.7 again. We're gonna see if there's anything that jumps out, or if we just stay this consistent all the way through. I would not be opposed. So now I'm rooting for it. I still we're a couple of minutes in, and I still prefer the look of a flat iron, but I definitely prefer the traction profile of this. So that rounded shoulder, I'm coming around. That's stuck. That is stuck planted. There we go. I did that. I did that. Steering is quite responsive to the point where I dialed the nose up too high. Put too much cross weight over. I think if we come down in a little bit lower, or did I not? Maybe I didn't do that. Okay, I'll give you another one, but then that rounded, is it that rounded shoulder? Okay, we'll try the high. We'll try the high point. I thought it was, I was putting too much steer angle to get up the face right here. But I think that round edge on the front, I think we can get up through there. Oh, it never really feels in shape. You're gonna drop the ball just like that. You were doing remarkably well. And here's the thing, mid run through that side hill, it does not feel light on the high side. As soon as we get over here into the transfer, look at that, just up. No steering input. We've got to manipulate that through somehow. Because this is, it feels great. Feels great right there. Come in low, and then we just roll it. That front shoulder, if I steer up, we fall. I cannot position it. Okay, it's yeah, so much forward drive, but I'm oscillating back towards the flat iron again. Okay, so transitionally on the side hill, not great. Oh, I can see it better from this side. We'll see, right there. The weight has all transferred over, and that truck doesn't know it yet, but it's gone. It's gone. We come in a little more, and it's gone. Like, that rounded shoulder is not conducive to a high side hill score. So now damn it, now I do need to write things down. Daphne's line was a 9.7. Quaylen on the side hill. We're gonna go what would be a middling high score of an 8.8, which is really gonna hurt this thing's overall score. It's got to do some nifty stuff. And that brings us to the beast where, okay, I'm gonna line it up, right? Okay. Clean pull first lip, right here, up over this ledge. That's how you get to a big score. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's quite good. All right, we'll bring it back. I want to look at the shuttle. Come across. Okay, yeah. This is a forward drive tire. Yeah, there's a lot of drive in this. Good steering angle too, good steering response. Very tight in the turn. How about here? Oh, yo, come on. Yeah, it's back. It's right back. Yeah, it's right back. We bounced right back. Look at that. Oh, if descending was its own score, yeah, that's really good. That block shape is really good at that. We're back, baby. We're right back in the 9.7s, just like that. All right, positionability should be pretty good. Yeah. So far, so good, at least. Use that side. Yep, nice. Nice. Okay, we want to see how the front end reacts right here when we hit the face, and it pushes right around. We come right around, yep. Auger the bumper in, get it loose there, yep, comes right around. we're right back at it. We're right back where we wanted to be. The side hill was a pretty sizable stumble, but picking itself right back up. Yeah. No negative notes there. Again, with that one exception, we are working on a no math. We arrive at dead limit for 3 tests in 1. We're gonna pull this side. It's good. Wasn't the best descent I've ever seen. That was me. Soft side. It's good. So that was Daphne's line, Daphne's other, or Daphne's third as we call it, testing there. Plenty of forward drive. This tire has a lot of forward drive, more forward drive than I would have anticipated based on the style and the lug shape. It really pulls forward. And on the bump, very straight. Does not get loose at all. Very good. Very good. Get a little, I want a little oblique angle on it. Yeah. That, why we hit the oblique on the bump, why we try to get the, let me try to get it positioned sideways. Okay. So now we're a little bit off at an angle to the face. So when we bump, I have an expectation of where the rear end is going to land. And the rear end lands right there. So that is good. I ain't never seen that move, have you? Steer to the sky, reverto. Okay, we had a little assistance there. I can't really tell. It's good. It's good. This is another one of those things where we're cutting it so fine. We are splitting the hairs because we're now getting so many tires that are just occupying this region up here in the mid to upper 90s. Okay, it does the counter flip a little better. The counter flip is a maneuver where what we're trying to do. See, there's that rounded shoulder. And it's holding there. It's more stable than I would anticipate. So typically the test is you steer to the sky, you full blast reverse. This we steer down, we give it a throttle, and then when the roof lifts, then we counter steer and go reverse. So self-right score is one that is dependent on so many variables. The Beast was a 9.7. Oblivion was a 9.7. Daphne's third is a 9.6. At self-righting, I'm going to give that a 9.4. And people are like, but what? I don't get it. Dead Bump is back again like a 9.7. Super predictable. Super predictable. This is a very well-behaved tire. And I can kind of see what the hubbub is all about. This is way too hard packed from the fresh rain. That was pretty sweet. So we're gonna, yeah, these are very, these love the dirt. These love the dirt. I'm just watching the tire. And I'm trying to think. Well, I'm not trying to think. I am thinking. Do I like it more than the flat iron? I feel like it has exhibited more capability almost across the board compared to the flat iron XL. Yeah, it certainly has. On paper numbers are certainly better for this versus the flat iron XL. The Baja Pro X beat the flat iron on paper, but I'll take the flat iron over the Pro X 7 days a week. Would I take the flat iron over this 7 days a week? I don't think I would. I think there's enough differential in performance here. Yeah, these are a very livable tire, and I get it. I'm coming around to the look a little bit, but you will notice, okay, here's what you will notice. In terms of the grand feel of stability, ordinarily in one of these, yeah, that hard line descent over there was so good. What we're getting here, though, is that round shoulder right there. You can catch and snap out of it pretty easily and pretty consistently, but there's a rolliness. There's a tippy rolliness to this tire because of that shoulder. The way the lug meets the rounded shoulder, it makes the tire a little bit too unpredictable for me. I don't know how well I can rate surface transition. It's good. It's really good. And we've got that. It's not even an X factor. We've got that. How many times have I power flipped this? I mean, back to the wheels every time. But it's definitely something that I want to be known in case the scores aren't showing it. I mean, I think the side hill did. The side hill basically pulled that tire down a full point. I don't know if a full point pull down is enough to emphasize how iffy the tire shoulder is. 3D printed insert might fix it. I don't know. Anyway, we go by the scores. We look at it on wet, and then we have a number. And we arrive still freshly muddied over at Slick Rock in the wet. I kind of like to see what the tire will do with the dirt still on the tread. Very good. Very good. There's the amount of loss. I don't want to categorize it as what one would expect, but what one would hope. I mean, optimally, we get a tire that behaves the same on every terrain, but that's just not how physics work. So we've got this little bit of a loss of drive. You're watching the obstacle grind the dirt off of the lugs and out from in between the lugs, building up a little pile down there. And if we get enough wheel spin against the rock, we will eventually be able to clear it, in theory, right there. Yeah, you clear the tire off enough, and there you go. There's a nice little pile of dirt down there at the bottom. If the Super Swamper, I've already forgotten what all of the little TSL SX. If the Swamper follows suit of previous G8 compound tires, we're gonna have a drop, 2 to 4 tenths, but they won't be flabbergasted by the fact that the rock is wet. Still have a pretty good maneuverability. You can see we can't quite get the same low grip line, but they can definitely do the thing. It's impossible not to make cross comparisons, this versus others, and by others I mean other Proline tires in G8. Yeah. I want to make sure to spin them enough to actually get the tire wet so that we're having wet on wet. Because a dry tire on a wet surface and a wet tire on a dry surface are two, obviously, completely different things. But there we go. Yeah, that's nice. I would classify this as definitely more in the... At some point, I dropped my pen. So here we are. I have located my pen. I walked around the whole course. Well, I walked around the part of the course I've been on. I walked all the way back to the shop, found another pen, and on the while back, the pen had fallen out of my pocket while I was sitting here on the bucket chair, and it was right behind the bucket chair. It's that kind of day, everybody. the Proline G8 Super Swamper TSL SX, if I'm getting those letters and numbers correct, I hope that I am. An aggregate total score of 95.1, and I think that is accurate. It is a tire that has made some trades because the pure forward drive is very high, but it has these oddities, that shape of the shoulder. Now, the insert, potentially, if you're on a single stage, if you're on a foam insert, it's going to exacerbate the effects of that shoulder shape like a lot. Also, the included Proline foams, which of course I do not use, were really properly stuffed inside the tire, kind of overstuffed. That's probably not going to help. The Canyon Customs that are in there fit remarkably well, and if you're getting a 9.7 in forward drive, the inserts are doing just fine. And them being a dual stage should trend towards a higher side hill score, and we didn't see that. And I think I've mentioned this in other tire reviews in the past, it's something that's inherent to the shape and or design of the tire. So a 95.1 is nothing to be sneezed at. If this was an instance, if this was a tire where we throw away the highest and the lowest, you know what? Let me see if I can do that. So proof that aggregate scores are really well and truly telling. If we do some Olympian scoring on this and we discard the highest and the lowest score, this tire pulled 5 9.7s out of 10. So we're just going to discard one of those 9.7s. And then it had the low boy, that 8.8 at Quaylen. You discard those and it takes the aggregate average from a 95.1 to a 95.7. So there's that 0.6 brought back. I'm honestly more comfortable with the 95.1 than I am with the 95.7. I think the 95.7 would indicate that the tire is a bit more well-rounded than it actually is. No pun intended. I like a tire that is stunningly consistent, and that side hill performance would be enough to make me think twice. Now, if you're not in an instance, if you're not operating in a situation where you were encountering side hill situations like that, then you can throw that score away, and you're a 96 plus on this tire, which I would be okay with. Now, if you're doing mixed use, like if you're trailing and rock crawling, this tire is excellent for that. I don't want to start cutting things too fine and having subcategories on top of subcategories on top of subcategories. But if this is a tire that predominantly trails but also rock crawls, and you don't want the rock crawling to be disappointing, then this will be excellent. Just be aware that rounded shoulder, sometimes on descending, sometimes on ascending, sometimes when you're loading the side, it's just going to get weird. Stuff's going to get weird. Sacrifices have been made for pure forward drive in exchange for other factors. Not even X factors, identifiable factors. So there you go. The Proline G8 Swamper, I was thinking 95.5 to 96. That was where I had this mentally before we got out here. We ended at a 95.1 because I could not have anticipated that much rollout on the side hill. And the thing is, in the actual side hill, it felt super stable. When it got to the transition in the side hill, it felt like nothing. It just, all of a sudden, a little invisible cloud levitated up under our bellies and just knocked us off the rocks. And I just kept doing it over and over. I could tell immediately when the tire was just going to flop out on the side hill. So, that said, a 3D printed insert made specifically for the tire is probably going to bump you up a point, maybe more. If you love the look of the tire, obviously it's going to do well. The G8 compound is not particularly fast wearing. It has a lot going for it. And at the end of the day, I still prefer the flat iron, but that's just that's for me. Like if it was one set next to the other, I will take the lower scoring flat irons because I like the look and I like the overall consistent profile a little more. Here I go again and again and again. I feel like I have to defend the fact that I gave this tire a 95.1, and the highest scoring tire that has been measured here, period, was a 98 even. So a 95.1, I feel like I have to defend. I didn't feel any need to defend that 98. There you go. I mean, if you're here to confirm your bias, I hope you agree. I hope you all enjoyed your time here in the canyon, where we test things, one could argue perhaps too thoroughly. But such is our way. And we bid you a fond adieu from the canyon, and in between now and when we meet again, we hope that you won and I'll do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll catch you next time here from the canyon. Hopefully, whatever that guy is, I think it's a tile saw at this point. They've got to finish that project soon, man. They've got to finish it. I feel like it's been going since they invented time. So before that time runs out, come on back and see us now, you hear? We'll see you again, and again here from the canyon. Thanks for the final time, everybody.